Hi guys, I'm Darko and welcome back to another brand new video. Today I'm here to show you how to obtain a MEW that actually obeys you in Pokémon Fire Red and Leaf Green Switch version using the OBEYS. Keep in mind that this type of MEW won't be transferable to Pokémon Home since it's normally a Pokémon that can't be obtained in these games. However, for a single player purposes, it's a perfectly valid MEW. If you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe to the channel to support me and not miss any of the upcoming videos. And please leave your hype points to help me grow. If you haven't set up OBEYS yet, please go check out my video where I show you how to enable it in Pokémon Fire Red and Leaf Green Switch version, but if you already have everything set up, let's continue with this video. Let me quickly explain what it means to obtain a MEW that obeys. For those who don't know, MEW and Deoxys are special Pokémons that, if obtained through other OBEYS codes, for example, will never obey you because they have a specific flag that needs to be set. With this code, the MEW we're getting today will have that flag and will therefore work perfectly like a normal Pokémon. So, the first thing to do is go to this website. I'll leave the link in the description and full credit for this goes to Papa F and his team, so make sure to check out this channel. Through this website we can generate the codes to run with our in-game OBEYS. The first thing you need to do is go to the top left and select the Switch version of your Pokémon game, making sure to choose the correct language. In my case I select English and in the column next to it select your game version. At this point, as you can see, the site is divided into two sections. On the left side you'll find the instructions and the setup, while on the right the tool will generate the code you need to input in-game. Moving on, open the drop-down menu next to it and select Fateful MEW Battle at Daycare. Make sure to select exactly this one and not the other code called Start Fateful MEW Battle. The first thing I want you to notice is the word bootstrapped, which means this is a particularly long code, 13 boxes, and it will require an exit code in box 13. If you've been following my videos for a while, this shouldn't be a problem, but I'll explain what to do shortly. As you can see, the site tells us that this code will create a battle with a MEW inside the Daycare on Route 5. So, let's head there. At this point, keep in mind that by default the MEW that spawns will be level 0. However, we can influence and change this level by depositing a Pokémon into the Daycare. But let me explain. MEW will actually take a level equal to the Pokédex number of the Pokémon you deposit. So, for example, if I deposit my Charizard whose number is 6, the MEW will spawn at level 6. Don't worry, the deposited Pokémon can be retrieved afterward and won't be affected in any way. Make sure not to use any index number higher than 100 because it's obviously not possible to obtain Pokémon above the maximum level, and that would cause issues with the MEW we're trying to get. At this point, I'm going to deposit my Charizard in the Pokémon Daycare. Now, let's go back to the website and press compute. After doing that, the site will generate the code on the right side that we need to input into our game, and as you can see, it's made up of 13 boxes. To get the exit code for the 13th box, go to the link provided by the site and find it under the instruction sections. Also remember to change the wallpapers of box 1 and box 2 as instructed. Now, let's move in game and input the code we were given. To do this, just go to your boxes and rename each box exactly following the characters shown on the website. Remember not to add any extra blank characters after the end of the code, just press start and then A to finish. Once you've renamed all the required boxes, the only thing left to do is place your OBEYS in box 13 slot 2 and put any Pokémon next to it in box 13 slot 1. When moving or interacting with your OBEYS, always use the yellow end, just press Y on your controller. And finally, make sure that box 13 is empty. At this point, to activate the code, just pick up the Pokémon next to the OBEYS and perform a double swap, just like I'm doing right now. Once that's done, exit the PC and talk to the Daycare man to start the battle with our MEW, which, as you can see, will be exactly at the level corresponding to the index number of the deposited Pokémon. If you want, you can also run away and spawn another one by talking to the old man again. Great if you want to do a bit of shiny hunting. Once the battle is over, if you want to retrieve the Pokémon you left in the Daycare, just exit and talk normally to the attendant who will give it back to you. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Leave a like and I'll see you next time.